Hi, I'm TJ.
And I'm Casey.
And welcome to Vinyl Loft.
On today's episode, we're going to be talking about the new releases.
I think I look more professional than Casey, and I'm not sure why.
One of us is a teacher.
Hey Casey.
Hey TJ.
Why are you laughing?
Because you're funny.
Oh.
Looking.
Fuck. That's not very nice to say.
You should put this on your OkCupid profile.
I'm gonna fucking deck you, kid. Before I start to physically harm you, why don't you talk about your first record?
I'm going to be talking about Nite Jewel, aka Ramona Gonzalez's record, 1 Second of Love, out on Secretly Canadian. It actually has a limited edition kind of clear vinyl, which as far as I know is sold out right now, but if you can get a hands on a copy of that, awesome. It's streaming on Stereo Gum. This one is a lot less chill wavy than her last album. I used to be really into her EP, Am I Real? It's really great. The album before that was called Good Evening. This is kind of a little more Laurie Anderson and Big Science-esque, but kind of, popular, more akin to that popular music style, and this is a lot more of a polished album. She's kind of part of that dream pop do-it-yourself thing that's been happening. It's been getting really popular, and she's getting press from the LA Times, and they're saying that she's really developing her own distinct sound. She's been famous actually in LA for a while now, and this is kind of her first push into more mainstream. You should check out the video for 1 Second of Love. It's like the Real Housewives meet the twins from The Shining, and it's on Pitchfork right now.
That sounds fun. I would love to see the people on Real Housewives get killed by the girls from The Shining. Is that what happens?
I would like the people from Real Housewives to kill the girls from The Shining. Think about that.
The first album I want to talk about today is X Lives by Every Time I Die, which is being released on Epitaph Records. It's their 6th studio release and their 2nd to be released on Epitaph. This is a big album for Every Time I Die fans because it's the first to feature Ryan Ledger, who is the new drummer who joined the band I think in 2010 or so. And the difference that he makes to the band is easily apparent. It seems like this album is the album that they've wanted to make for the last few years, but they just haven't been able to do it because of the skills and abilities of the drummer who did leave the band. So now that they sort of have this free reign and they have this drummer who can best back up the intensity of the rest of the band, they've sort of stumbled on this really special combination that really comes through in this album. In promotion for this album, the record label Epitaph has been releasing tiny little vignettes or promotional material. Yes, vignettes.
Oh,
fancy. I am educated. Essentially, it's in these vignettes, it's the band talking about the album and their career so far. And for the most part, when the band talks about this album, you do get that sense that this is the one album that they really, really wanted to make, and they are very excited for it. And they really want everyone to listen to it and just party and kill each other in the mosh pit with it, which is, what they're sort of known for. Also of note is that the album art for this particular album, it's a photograph of a guy being manhandled by cops at a GA protest. Well, you don't like manhandled? You don't like that word? Is that...
Well, I didn't hear the GA part, so I laughed, and now I feel a little bad.
Yeah. So he was protesting, standing up for his civic rights and the whatnot.
Yeah. When I hear the word manhandled, I laugh.
He was wearing an Every Time I Die shirt at the time, and so we have this photo on the cover, which is this guy being beat up by cops essentially with an Every Time I Die shirt. And it's really cool because it's like an unaltered, undoctored photo. It's like just a moment in time that just happened to coincide. And considering the chaotic nature of the album, I think it's a really good fit for representing it graphically. As with a lot of albums that have been released in the last little while, you can stream it online. So if you haven't heard this band before and want to check them out, you can do that. Or if you're kind of curious to see which direction the band is taking, you can also go check that out. The first press of the album on vinyl, the first 500 records were on clear vinyl, but those are all sold out. Those are way gone, so you're going to have to go to eBay to get those. The rest of the pressing, which is unlimited, there's no limit on it at all, is black. It's on black vinyl.
Infinite. Just to the end of time. Black
Everyone...
everywhere.
There's 7 billion of them. One record for every person in the world.
Alright, TJ, I'm going to talk to you about another LA band. I guess a band from California. Xiu Xiu.
Xiu.
Yeah, you know that band? Right, okay. So this is their 9th studio album. It's called Always. This is their 2nd album with band member Angela Seo, I believe that's how you pronounce it, S-E-O. She sings for the first time on the record and on a track called Honeysuckle. For this record, they're still carrying on that sort of controversial tone with a song called I Love Abortion. But it's actually, when you listen to it, quite a deep record, and yeah.
I'm going to hell.
Yeah.
It's on camera. It's on camera.
This is their ninth album, and this is kind of a culmination of all the work they've done previous. Spin Magazine, there's an article with Jamie Stewart, the lead singer, speaking of each song. It's kind of their deepest work, I would say. And it still kind of follows that more avant-garde sound that you've been getting from the previous albums, but this is the most accessible and danceable for sure. But you're gonna get kind of a mixture of, like, I would say Placebo meets Anthony Johnson, so Jamie Stewart's voice is still that quivering, you know, riddled with despair kind of thing going on. So this is their record where they left Kill Rockstar Records, and this is their first album on polyvinyl. So you can stream this album on Brooklyn Vegan, and check out the entire thing from front to back, because it's, each song kind of complements itself. And the album name Always is actually a reference to the Erasure song Always. So check out that song as well. Xiu Xiu, ninth album from California.
XIU, XIU.
XIU, XIU.
Ew, you want to kiss me?
Gross! Give it out! Oh my god,
So I'm going to round out the episode by talking about the new album from Ceremony called Zoo, and is being released on Matador Records. This is the band's fourth studio album and the first to be released on Matador. Now, over the course of the band's first three albums, they had sort of a slow and steady, I guess, maturation where their sound subtly changed from release to release, and you could definitely feel that they were becoming more mature as musicians, but they still had that hardcore edge and intensity to them. When I went to listen to the stream of this album, I thought, okay, it's going to be kind of like that. It'll be sort of like the last album, but a little bit more mature in some areas. And it turns out that I was completely fucking wrong. The music is like a slowed down version of their last album in a lot of cases. It's still driving and it still has like a very strong rhythm section to it. It just feels like they slowed it down a little bit. But then the vocals are completely different, in my opinion. Like, there's still maybe one or two instances of the lead singer growling, but for the most part, the vocals have been completely replaced by like this lo-fi, fuzzy vocal style that's clean. Like, clean! He's not screaming, he's just sort of talking loudly or being loud. In my mind, this album has firmly moved the band out of the hardcore subgenre and into something that the label describes more as somewhere in between punk and post-punk, which I totally understand based on the way that the vocals were recorded and how everything in the album sort of fits together. Like, it really does feel like it's in that sweet spot right in the middle between punk and post-punk. So if you like either of those genres, or both of those genres, I highly suggest it. Also, you can go stream it on Spin. They have the full album up. You should. If you're a fan of the band and you were just going to buy this album because you are a fan of them, you need to listen to it before you buy it to make sure that you still like what they're doing, because it is very different. I think actually it's going to make their live shows very interesting, having to go between this new material and some of the old material. Especially like this album compared to their first two albums. It's like night and day. It's
really
so different. Like,
it makes me nervous. Alright, that's all we got.
That's right, Casey. And I just wanted to thank you for coming on the show and taking Emma's place because she hasn't come back from being kidnapped yet. We really need to resolve that situation soon, but
not too soon, right?
No.
Okay.
No. And if you have any comments about Emma's kidnapping situation, or just any comments, questions at all for anyone associated with the show, you can tweet at us, comment here on YouTube, comment on Facebook, or even on Tumblr. The show is at Vinyl Loft. I am at TJ the Mute. Casey here is at Case of Bass. And Emma, who is gone, not in this country, we need to send money to get her back, so we're probably not going to get her back, is at Imogene. You can tweet comments and concerns to her about her current situation being a captive of pirates.
Donations via PayPal accepted.
But those will mostly just go towards me and my food.
You don't tell them that.
Shit. Oh, and when the credits start rolling, you are exactly, what do we say, 46 days? 46 days away from Record Store Day.